she sent me to the principal's office because I wasn't in class, and I accused her of being racist. To cover up my track of not being in there. But they said the principal went down, and she did actually have the class segregated into by race, but as groups. And I wasn't privy to this, but she did.
So you just like sort of secretly knew that she was racist. Yeah. Like
I
your
guess maybe subconsciously. Yeah. Oh, I got lucky.
Welcome to Oops All Segments, the very best podcast hitting your eardrums at this very moment. I'm Kevin.
I'm Thomas, and today we are here with special guest, comedian from Toronto and TallBoyz. It's Tim Blair. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, woo! What's up, everybody? It's me, Tim Blair. Good to be here. What an honor.
I've been thinking for a few weeks now that I should have like a little sound effect sting when a guest shows up that's like, woo, or whatever, so that it feels like that. And I love that you made it yourself. Maybe I'll sample yours and make it
we should have kind of a mood board so we can accurately have a response, whether it's like tepid applause, like cheering.
Oh, sure. Like
because different guests have different, I think
like that's that one, right? Or like,
it'd be sweet if you could get a mood board to operate like a mood ring, where it would just know one button.
How you're feeling.
If we had like an AI to assess like the mood of our guest and pick the soundboard option based on that would be incredible.
Based on like the like little preamble where we sort of technically work them through how to record with us and all the things that they need to set up, and then the AI will be like, well,
what we
they
should be doing is capturing the voices of our guests so that we can do episodes without them, like kind of create Tim using an algorithm after
Tim
this.
Could be a co-host. And
Tim, if you could just say the numbers 1 through 9 and then 0 for us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have my blessing to use me in perpetuity. Feel free.
Now that the strike is over, people are just willing to put themselves out there for whatever sort of AI-generated content we can create. That's great. Tim, we usually start the show with a check-in. How are you, man? What's new in your life?
I'm doing good. I just coming off living some childhood dreams last week.
Whoa.
I got to be in a commercial for Pizza Pockets, which is already big enough.
Man.
Got me through my childhood. Love Pizza Pockets.
Hell yeah.
But the commercial itself was me being buried in quicksand. Another childhood dream.
Okay. That's kind of dope.
I'm starting to feel a little bit starstruck and shy.
Oh yeah. I've been buried alive. What can I say?
I'm gonna retreat into myself for the rest of the episode.
Not an abnormal behavior.
You're sort of dressed like a pizza pocket right now.
Oh, absolutely. I've been living it.
You got the pepperoni shirt on.
Tim's a method actor at his core. He's been stuffing himself.
What was the ad? Did you get to eat the pizza pocket? Were you just finding pizza pockets? What or can you not even say? It's too private.
I probably can't say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was a guy like being trapped in quicksand, and my options were to grab a branch to save my life or eat a pizza pocket. And I think we all know what decision I made.
You're a dead man.
Yes.
We should say for our American listeners, because I don't think pizza pockets exist here. We have something called Hot Pockets, which are kind of like rectangles filled with pizza. But a pizza pocket is a disc. It's kind of like a little, almost puffy pastry filled with pizza.
Right. The pizza pocket is the one that's looks like a bao bun, right? The pizza pop is the one that looks like a beef patty. Yeah. That looks like it was made from orange denim.
I like Hot Pocket though. Just a vague, just something hot inside.
And also when you buy it, it's not that, right? When you buy a Hot Pocket, it's quite cold.
But I will say, famously, you heat it up, and the first bite is the hottest thing you've ever felt. Like it just scalds the roof of your mouth, your tongue. But the thing that makes the Hot Pockets very good, and I used to have these a lot when I was younger, there's always one corner of the rectangle that gets all the like cheese and goo and oil kind of like congealed into this perfect last bite.
Yes.
And that's something you get a little bit less with the round shape. No offense to your employer, but I just wanted to give that feedback.
Yeah,
No, I do think the round shape is a nightmare. Like, yeah, there's no angle. Maybe I should say this, but it is like it falls apart the more you eat. It's good for 2 bites. And
if Tim had written the commercial, his character would be slipping off of the round, smooth edges of the hot pot.
On this pizza box. Yeah.
I can't, slowly sinking, wishing it had a foothold of some kind, or someone had provided him with a fork. Yeah, I'll go next. Just for my check-in, things are pretty good. I don't really have much to say, which is why I was like, I'll go next because I feel like Thomas might have something more interesting to cap it off with. We business is good. I just Dreamland Diners just moved over to table service recently, and that's been a big sort of change for us, and it's been going well. I just hired somebody today who seems like a really good candidate. So that's exciting. Things are everything's looking all right for Kev. Cool. Everything's looking all right. How about you, T? How are you?
So if you listened last week, you heard about my big business. So Tim, I'll fill you in quickly, but I'm now a proud subscriber of HP Instant Ink. Yeah. Still blurry, you can't really read it, but basically this is a service where for 6 months, anytime I run out of printer ink, they send me a free box. So with unlimited
you really want to talk
ink,
about this again?
I had a big idea that I could sort of start my own business. Anything you want printed anytime, I can do it forever.
Right. And again, you live in Chicago.
Yeah. Orders started
Tim
flooding
lives in Toronto. Susan, who you told us about last week, lives in Edmonton.
I'm just saying,
orders started flooding in.
Orders started flooding in. There was a snag in the plan. I have no paper, you guys.
What?
I have so much ink, but nothing for which the ink to rest on.
You don't have paper?
I've made promises to a lot of people. Kim said she had a hookup for paper, but that has fallen through big time. So, I would say whatever that connection was, it is dead now. And so
you need a subscription service for paper supply.
I'm kind of drowning in ink, as it were, and I have nothing on which to use. So if you've got paper, even we can scrap paper this, we can reuse, send it.
So you want to offer a printing service now where people can send you
in
files
exchange for paper. I will provide you ink.
Oh, yeah,
and it is a devil's bargain.
System.
I have a bunch
of blank business cards. This is perfect.
Bring your own paper printing shop. Yes. Like BYOP.
Well, we both have something the other one could use, don't we?
No.
You with all your sheafs, and me with all my cartridges. We're a match made in Kevin, as it were.
No, don't keep my name out of your fucking stupid business
Thomas's
idea.
inquiry is open, but the terms and conditions have changed.
Right. Yeah, he's sort of doing black market printing was sort of what we decided last week.
Or color market.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Black color. Okay.
Yeah. He's got the whole Pantone spectrum at his fingertips.
We maybe jump into a warm-up segment.
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should. Our warm-up segment.
So our normal segment has been the theft update. But the tone has changed a little bit. I feel like this is the absolutely chuffed update. Because I feel so honored that, our heroes, formerly known as Take and a Smear, have apologized. They've made amends.
They have.
They gave us that big plug. So
that huge plug, which boosted our numbers out the wazoo. Honestly, I haven't
Shannon's episode is doing crazy on YouTube.
Yeah. There's a huge gap between when we're recording and when that came out. But yeah.
But that episode went great.
It did.
We can only assume it's been all uphill from there. So we're going to rebaptize the boys, as it were, Taking a Smear to their new title, Thank and Sincere, because we are so grateful.
Yeah, so Jake and Amir, once Taking a Smear, now known as Thank and Sincere. Still haven't, I will say.
Yeah.
In the
Don't get us wrong, we're still really mad.
I just want to, at one point, just 1 second.
We should have them on as a guest. To be honest, I haven't listened to the show.
Right. So Jake says we should have them on as a guest. Amir says, to be honest, I haven't listened to the show. one of those two is now. I'm a fan. I used to
wasn't
say
it
that I
Robert
looked up to
Frost who said, "And I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep." Well, it seems the boys have some promises to keep as well. And
Yes.
Until we will not sleep, we've got miles and miles of hate mail to write as soon as I get my hands on some paper. And we will be sending it.
on segments.
That's
Hashtag
right.
oops on segments. Let us on your goddamn show. Tim, we're going to spin the wheel now. We're going to do a real segment. You don't have
That
to
felt
weigh in on
exclusionary.
Jake and Amir stealing from us.
But you are a
Susan-
fan. Do you have any thoughts when you saw segments come out? What was your first thought?
Because you'd
Did you-
met me at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
sort of
honestly,
been spectating.
I was furious. I'd win for a long time to replace. If I were you, big fan, sad
Yeah.
to see it end, and then to come out of the gate with a blatant ripoff with frankly two hosts that don't have the charm to pull it off.
Wow.
I couldn't.
Wait, you're talking about us or them?
Thank you.
It's hard to
saying
tell
so.
which podcast is which. You guys are the college humor guys, right?
Right. That has
Yeah.
happened. It does happen a lot.
We're
We get
part
that
of
a lot.
Dropout now, I think.
Yeah, we're part of Dropout now. Thomas, I'm going to spin the wheel, okay?
Okay. Here we go. Woo! Breaking Moos. Participants must watch and discuss a Jeanne Moos segment.
Oh, Jeanne Moos.
Jeanne Moos.
Oh, wow. Oh, sure, we can do that. It might be... You might have the best bet of pulling this up. Look up
Can
that
you quickly
YouTube.
explain who Jeanne
Moos
is?
is, I believe, a CNN reporter who reports on things
Okay.
that seem mundane or weird, but she's got this tone about her news reports that are very funny.
We
and
have
weird.
two options here. I'll
Yeah.
let you choose, Tim, as our guest.
Yes.
Either dad's moves during daughter's cheerleading routine go viral, or
Okay,
she
that's
wasn't
really
too
enticing.
interested in talking, cop pulls over toddler.
Whoa! Wow! These are both great. I think I just found my new favorite journalist. I gotta go. Cop pulls over toddler.
Okay,
Cop pulls
here we
over
go.
toddler.
So I'll pull up a screen share for us here,
Yeah.
and hopefully the audio will come through and everything for you.
Yeah. Send me the link
also
and I'll
share
make sure that it
tab
comes through on the video.
Okay, here we go.
You know that sinking feeling when you notice flashing lights in the rear view? Well, maybe it's not quite so sinking when the driver's only 2.
What did you say to her when you got out of the car?
Asked her if she had a driver's license. At that point, she had her mouth full of toothbrush, so she wasn't too interested in talking.
He has a toothbrush.
Yep, that's a toothbrush in Rose Fern's mouth. The siren noise was added later so as not to scare Rose. Okarchi.
Wait, oh, I
They're
see. So they
editing
digitally added a siren to the clip to make us understand what was happening for CNN, but not. That's very weird.
I guarantee you what
Yeah.
happened there is they made it. Then the editor was like, "Jeannie, you have to say that came in post because people are going to send us mail being like, you scared this little girl with a siren." Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the first time
Absolutely.
cops tampering with evidence has been cute.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
kidding,
this,
hey?
This might be a big, just like make good project,
Yeah.
like propaganda. We'll see how
Yeah,
things
it's
turn out
propaganda.
for this toddler, but okay.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has a population
Yeah, let this
of
kid
about
drive. Yeah,
1,200
she's just brushing her
residents.
teeth.
After this video posted by Police Chief Forrest Smith went viral, well, thanks to Rose, the world now knows Okarchi.
She got pretty famous overnight.
Relatives
What?
called the chief to come watch Rose test drive the pink convertible she got for her birthday. The chief likes to post funny
Oh my
moments
God.
on the department.
What
Wait,
the hell
what?
is that?
This is
What the
no.
Hold on.
Let's go
Audience who's
back.
listening via
This is
podcast.
the most replayed moment for a good reason.
Audience who's listening for and not watching, there's a tweet that they showed or a Facebook post from the what's the city called?
Okarchi, I think.
Okarchi Police Department. Where it says that the caller says there's an old man sitting in the back of a Jeep. He looks disoriented, and then the picture that they've shown is terrifying. It's like this.
Like a Halloween, and
Like
it seems like
melted
the police
face
in
man.
this town are only interested in the very young and the very old. Like that's kind of the profiling
sort of
that's happening there.
Leave you alone
Yeah.
if you're between 13 and 52. They're sort of
But
not
just
interested.
To pivot from the child to this Halloween costume in the back of a Jeep is a very weird.
Really, and also clearly the most replayed part of the video,
Yeah.
right? For a reason.
Yeah.
For an obvious reason. Okay.
But I love
carry
it.
on,
Yeah,
T.
they're
how
also
this
in a
ends.
vehicle
Go
still,
ahead.
just a different age. Yeah.
Yeah, they're only focused. These are the traffic. I guess they don't have much to do in Okarchi. There's
Yeah.
nothing going the fuck on in Okarchi. Yeah.
Let's see how this wraps up.
Department's
Yeah, okay.
Facebook.
I got a call from a hysterical lady, and she sounded really shaken up that she had drove through a parking lot and seen this old man. He just looked disoriented to her.
A dummy with a Halloween mask in a pickup. But Rose's story really got picked up.
You didn't even give her a ticket for BWD.
Oh, she's doing
Hear that
wordplay.
little
This rules.
turn of phrase, how she said pick up and then picked up.
Yeah.
That's
God.
that classic Jeanne Moos. You gotta know that's
Her voice is
little
perfect.
signature.
Her voice
I
is
honestly
so
great
good.
cadence. I love a
Yeah.
dummy in a Halloween mask. I love to be roasted
Yeah.
by her.
Yeah. Getting roasted.
If only
by
this was a
Jeanne.
little more cruel.
Yeah. Run it back like 5 seconds, T.
Okay.
She's about to make a punchline, I think.
You didn't even give her a ticket for BWD. Rushing while driving.
Oh,
There it is.
Be excited for
Tim,
the
if you want to use that, I think
already.
you're allowed.
She's starting young.
All right, so I need a
with the
closer.
first
This is
brush
perfect.
with law.
Oh, she said her first brush with the law, and then they
Oh,
edited
okay,
in
that
another
was
little
heat.
siren.
Yeah. Well, that one might have been real. We don't know. They didn't
I
say.
want to acknowledge there's a very loud truck outside my apartment right now. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah. Thomas likes to stop the podcast every once in a while to do what we call a truck acknowledgement. So
It would be a moment of silence, but we can hear a truck. Yeah.
yeah. Pause for truck. So yeah, that's a Jeanne Moos segment.
That's incredible. And that's who inspired Tosh.0? Is that where you got his stick from?
Yeah. I don't know how well known that fact is, but Jeanne Moos is actually Daniel Tosh's mom. Yeah. T-Bone, is it too soon to give the
Feels a
ears
little
of
soon.
show
I
to someone
almost
else?
think we need to do another seggy before the
Do one
break.
more seggy. Do you want to do a guest seggy maybe?
Oh yeah,
over
so
to the
yeah,
guest seggy?
Tim, lately we've been pulling some audience submitted segments specifically to kind of
And if you're out there listening, and you want to submit a segment, don't be afraid. Don't be a little coward. Own up to the things you've done wrong in your life. Look at yourself in the mirror, slap yourself in the fucking face, and get behind the keyboard and type in a suggestion for us. Okay, give us a segment to do. I can't keep thinking of this shit. I can't keep going into the Jake and Amir segments show and trying to steal and reiterate their ideas in an interesting way. I can't keep listening to the things I like and changing them up a little bit so that it's not quite infringement on the ideas, because theft is wrong.
You said it, man. Let's spin the old wheel. Woo!
What are we doing?
Okay, we've got Money Where Your Mouth is by Warlord.
Oh, Warlords.
Participants must race to see who can insert the most food into their mouths in 30 seconds. Winner
This
gets
person's
$5.
into vor. Okay.
Loser has to swallow the mouthful.
So wait,
now-
that means that one of us isn't gonna have to swallow the food?
Yeah, we can spit it out, I guess. Do you have access to enough food for this challenge,
I
Tim?
have some food
Do you
here,
have
but I just
access
need
to
know, how many of your segments submitted by guests are just people getting you to do their fetishes? Is this like a free
So far-
OnlyFans?
Yeah, so far 100%.
Yeah,
but we think
100%.
there might be some variety coming. We just have to...
Yeah. I
So-
guess should we do like a countdown and then a go? I mean, I've definitely got the farthest to travel. There's no food nearby. Tim looks like he just reached over and grabbed.
I
a
can't.
snack.
Oh, you
Reached
gotta go
over and
grab
just
it.
had-
Okay. We're not prepping.
Well,
He had
you
an
might just.
edible arrangement just an inch off camera. It was incredible.
Holy shit, you're Warlord, aren't you? Or whatever.
Warlord. Okay, let's take a 10-second break. We'll leave. We'll
Okay.
be right back with the food. See you in a
3,
minute.
2, 1. Oh no. Oh god. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm back. Thomas isn't yet. Tim's still here because he only had to go 5 feet. And you know, I almost brought snacks into the room today. I almost did.
All right, and the fucking truck is louder than ever, but I've got some rosemary crisps. I sort of thought that it might work well to do the cracker challenge because you know how dry your mouth gets. I'll see how many of these I can get in there.
I'm doing sour jujubes. That was there. What do you got, Tim?
I got smart food, some cheesy popcorn.
Oh,
make my mouth disgusting.
Very good. That shit's, yeah, it's gonna be gross. Okay, shall we?
Okay, so we're gonna do a 30-second timer. Does anyone have? I can set this up.
Yeah.
We're just
we'll maybe
first step
put
is
it
just
on
to put it in our mouth. We don't
video
eat
if
it
we remember,
unless we win.
Okay, everyone
Thomas,
ready?
I can just. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Pull.
Okay,
You got it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh no.
Okay.
Wait, what's the goal?
Oh.
Wait, what's the end? How does this end?
We gotta keep doing till.
Guys, I think I'm gonna die. Oh my god, this is terrible audio. This is the worst audio. Okay.
Who is the winner?
I don't want.
We have to evaluate who won.
Oh my god. I just ruined that container of jujubes. That was fucking disgusting.
I am chewing, I'm swallowing. I ate mine.
I'm swallowing
I'm so
mine, so I
sorry.
think we win.
I guess Kevin won because he couldn't physically swallow it. So he had the most.
Well, jujubes are especially hard to.
And so Tim, as the
you'd
guest,
be chewing
you
all
can,
day.
as the guest, you can kind of have the privilege of sending Kevin $5.
Okay.
That feels like
PayPal,
sort
I
of-
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
what
really
an
want to do
honor.
that. So,
Well, Thomas, it's not really fair, right? You should also pay.
well, I don't think so. It sort of said the winner gets $5. It doesn't say from each. So,
And you're gonna ask our guest to
I
send
think it's kind of
money?
a special, like just.
That's a terrible thing to do.
What if I send it to
treat?
Tom and Tom prints you maybe like a message on
Yeah,
the
I
money?
can print.
Send him $5 worth of paper.
I'll print kind of a copy. These are like rosemary crisps, and I wasn't expecting the strength of the rosemary taste to really overwhelm me. Like, it's
I need to get a
they're
towel for what
thin
happened.
little crackers, but it really accumulates
of-
in your mouth. It was kind of wretched. How was the popcorn?
Yeah.
Good, cheesy. Yeah, what wasn't too tough. It just hit a point where I couldn't put more in without whatever was in my mouth currently falling out. So I feel like 10 seconds into the timer.
There's like a full chewed together. I'm not going to show it on camera because it's absolutely nasty. But there's like a full chewed together.
I think you should
jujube.
show it, and then we can go to a break.
Okay. I'll just hold on. Let me get my audio ready here to go to the break because I got to do both of those.
Well,
things.
why don't as you show it, Tim will make the sound of what the chewed up food would like. It's cry of agony or whatever we might hear when we see it.
Okay.
I got ya.
Perfect. Okay. So here we go.
Oh, why did you finish me? Why did you consume me?
Webster's Dictionary defines podcast as a domesticated, odd-toed, hoofed mammal with a great affinity for oats.
That's a horse.
Oh, right.
But we are a podcast, and we're called Roommate Lovers.
We do advice questions such as, why is my roommate using my toothbrush?
How do I flirt without being creepy?
Why are you using my toothbrush?
I told you, I just couldn't find mine that day.
Gross.
We live together and are together, which is why we call the show Roommate Lovers.
We're roommate and lover. We're roommates and lovers.
Well said.
Gross. Find new episodes of Roommate Lovers on Mondays wherever you podcast.
Now that's a podcast of a different color.
You mean horse?
Yes, of course.
And we are back.
Wow, that's awesome how that song's so much longer, but only the listeners get to hear the very end.
Yeah,
we have to listen to
5-minute
5 minutes. The like Pink Floyd-esque intro to the song.
Absolutely, wow. The jam, the solo.
Yeah. I've been sort of chewing on changing our theme music, but I feel like we need to firstly balloon as a massive show before I can really do that.
Yeah, there's no point in changing until somebody knows you fucking exist. So,
exactly.
Tim,
yeah,
I know
that's why I've been wearing the same clothes for my whole life.
You've got a taste of the kind of segments we do on this show, and we are wondering if there's a segment that you would like to pitch for this episode.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got a segment.
Any other foods that you want to grab in your house nearby?
Yeah. This one we're gonna need a lot of vegetable oil.
It's called pour oil directly down the drain.
Yeah. Landlords love it.
We call this show the Landlords Podcast, so that makes sense. Yeah, Tim, is there any sort of game you might think of that, or would you rather us just dive right back into the zone of wheels?
Hey, I'm gonna try and think of a game. This is percolating. We'll see how much of a game it actually is, or just words I'm about to say.
I love that. I mean, on Skylar Higley's episode, his segment was just him talking about things he had seen on the internet. So.
Sweet.
You can't really go wrong.
All right, here's this game. Oh wait, what if it's okay?
It's just you doing the Professor X thing.
Yeah, you're really like powering up your idea center.
I see X's and O's. Okay, what if? All right, here. All right, you're. What if we cast the biopics of our favorite band? You take your band, you cast a member with an actor.
Okay.
You give it a title, and we give
like
it a
this.
watch.
Yeah. Are we gonna do collectively one movie? Do we think, or are we gonna? Is this maybe the best way to do it? Should we all
let's do our own if we go quicker, but it may be more collaborative if you want.
Or we can do our own, but you got to pick a duo. It's got to be two.
Sure. I like that.
Not too many members. I don't know.
Not too many members. Yeah. Okay.
You have a band that comes to mind for you, Tim? A favorite duo?
I feel like I want to see a Daft Punk movie, but we get Sandler and Kevin James back. I want it to be like, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, but they're French DJs doing the Tron soundtrack.
People don't say it a lot, but that movie holds up. Like the politics of it today.
Tron?
Oh no. Yeah, Tron.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Yeah. Sure. I bet it does. I'm trying to think of a duo's band that I liked when I was younger.
Wait, and who were the two that you said
in the film?
Yeah, Tim, or have we not decided?
Adam Sandler, Kevin James.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah. No, you got to bring him back.
And now that Kevin James went crazy viral with that theme, the Getty Pics theme. Yeah, I mean, it's never been a better time to be Daft Punk. The duo that I'm thinking of,
Daft Punk is very good.
I'm thinking of Run the Jewels.
Oh, that's a good one.
Great
Killer Mike
band,
and LP.
Great duo. Yeah, I feel like my first instinct, I'm not sure, but I like who's the guy who plays Paperboy in Atlanta?
Oh,
Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, Brian Tyree Harris, I think. Yeah,
I think it's Henry, but yeah, he
Henry?
would be. I think he'd be a good Killer Mike. I've already
great.
seen him play a musician. Not so. I feel like LP could almost be Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. Okay, that's an out of pocket pick. That's interesting.
When you see
I feel like he's got the
Macaulay
edge.
Culkin, he looks like he's lived a life now. You know, like,
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been through it. Through it. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. I'm trying to think specifically if I can think off the top of my head of any sort of duo. But in lieu of being able to do that, maybe, you know what? Here's what we'll say. We're gonna do an Eminem biopic.
Oh, nice.
And maybe we'll talk about Eminem and one or two of his surrounding figures, like maybe Dr. Dre or something. So Eminem already has acted before. I don't want him to play himself, obviously, because that's not interesting.
Talk about people whose politics holds up. I mean,
yeah.
I still feel the same way about my mom as I do when I was 15.
Yeah, and that's
the
never
damage
gonna change.
he did to the Italian American community with puking up his mom's spaghetti is
Irreversible.
It's irreversible.
Yeah.
But Eminem, I feel like could be played interestingly by Nicholas Hoult. I feel like Nicholas Hoult would do an interesting Eminem. He's got sort of that same kind of gaunt look at his face.
Witness me.
Yeah,
It's like spraying fucking painkillers into his mouth or whatever. I
Yeah,
don't remember
yeah,
what the
exactly,
definitions he
exactly. And I feel like maybe the Dr. Dre in this film I want to see is Tracy Morgan. Yeah, I think
That's
he
fun.
needs his
Such a
turn.
But it's like his dramatic role. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
I think
you
he
only
needs.
know him
I want to see
silly.
Tracy try and do something that's a little bit more serious. I want to
Yeah.
see him step it up. So yeah, that's my take. That's my take
Good.
on it. On a, I know it's not quite a duo. I mean, Eminem and Dr. Dre were a duo. I think they were a musical duo when we were growing up.
We have titles for these biopics
Oh,
sort of
that's a
based
good
on
one.
not necessarily the actors, but like the mood or the theme of the story.
Yeah. So you've got yourself the Daft Punk musical with Kevin James and Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Or it's not necessarily a musical, but the Daft Punk biopic.
Yes.
What would you want to call it?
I now pronounce you Daft Punk.
Sure. Right.
So it is. Yeah.
It's not
And
only
we're
is it
sticking
like
with that, huh?
it's more of a sequel than a spiritual. It's a sequel to
absolutely.
I Now Pronounce. You, Tim, are you just? I've noticed when we met about a month ago, you were talking about how you've been pitching a sequel script for a sort of comedy movie from the mid 2000s. I didn't. Is this
Yeah,
just your
it's
excuse
this.
to sort of? Yeah. Okay. It just. That's,
And it's much
I
less a sequel. It's more like Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd, where I just watch I Now Pronounce You, Chuck and Larry, to the Tron soundtrack.
You
and
do
it does
drugs
not line
and watch.
up.
Yeah.
The worst acid trip of all time.
That would be fucking terrible. But yeah. If you're listening at home, do some fucking hallucinogenics and then watch I Now Pronounce You, Chuck and Larry with the sound off and Daft Punk's music blaring underneath. T-Bone, what are we gonna call? Your Run the Jewels, sort of Macaulay Culkin's return to the screen, and alongside Brian Tyree Henry.
I think we will call it You Have to Walk Before You Run.
Wow, that's great.
That's good. Yeah.
Maybe a bit more of a tagline than a title.
I think you could say Walk Before You Run could be the title.
Yeah, that might work better. Or just like Walk Run. Or maybe like Walk the Gems.
Now you seem like you intently want to get walk in there, and it feels like maybe that's the least, because it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
Maybe
can walk in there.
Count
You
to-
cast
Count
Christopher
to
Walken
Fuck.
in it.
Yeah.
Count
there you go.
to Fuck could be a good title.
What?
Close your eyes and count to fuck is one of their songs.
That's actually a good one. Yeah. Count to Fuck would be a good title. Yeah. I sort of would imagine if I was going to go into the theater to see Count to
Yeah.
Fuck, I would sort of expect to see maybe an X-rated film starring a Sesame Street Dracula-esque man.
Well, yeah,
Maybe.
when if I grew up in Transylvania and then someone asked what my number was, I would say, call me Count to Fuck, because I had sex with 2 people. Kevin, what would you call yours?
Yeah, we've got Eminem played by Nicholas Hoult, sort of a and we've got Tracy Morgan, and I said it was going to be a serious role for Tracy to play Dr. Dre. I feel like if this is going to be a serious movie and it's going to be about Eminem's past, I think it should be called White America, which is an Eminem song.
And his fan base.
And also sort of imagine a poster with Tracy Morgan's face looking sincere, and in letters underneath just White America.
That's an Oscar run. For sure.
Yeah, I think so.
What about We Are Marshall, and then in brackets Mather?
Yeah. I think that would work too. I think we should do the wheel another dip.
Maybe one more spin-a-rooney to
Spin-a-rooney dip in the wheel.
Fun episode. Let's see what we get.
Oh God, that's loud. It's always so much louder for me than it is for you.
Ooh, okay, this is good. BFL. Participants must discover the biggest lie they can remember telling.
Ooh.
Oh. Interesting. Oh, I have one of these that's very embarrassing, and one of them that's much less embarrassing. So maybe I should tell the really embarrassing one, but it's
you
really
can start with the less embarrassing one, see how we respond, and then if it feels normal enough.
Oh no! Yeah,
save for the end the really.
Because I sort of don't want to tell the embarrassing one.
Sure, of course not.
I've sort of started talking
That's
about.
That's kind
it
of what embarrassment is.
Yeah. I'll go first.
Okay.
I remember in one of these weird things was when I was growing up, I was my parents were very clear with me that marijuana was something I should stay far away from. My brother once showed his friend at a New Year's Eve party had brought a very large joint, and my brother showed it to me and he said, "Smell this," and I smelled it, and then he said, "If I ever smelled it on you, I'll fucking kill you." So bad news is I'm still alive, and but
what happened when he started smelling it on you? By the way,
he's been trying to kill me for years. That's why he's given me the most stressful occupation in the fucking world. But he later on. Anyway, I was in middle school. That was about the time some of like the kids were starting to be exposed to weed. I was living in like a pretty like suburban area, and the public school that I went to at the time was pretty like gated in its own way. And those the kids I was in school with, some of them would start to talk about weed, and every now and then someone would offer me it, and I was like 13, like young, but it was always just like, oh, is someone talking about weed, or have you ever smoked weed? And I didn't want to feel the pressure of it, so I told kids that I tried it, and it was like I'd already smoked it, so I told everybody about the story.
I did this as well. This is a classic move.
I had like a detailed story
done that.
before anybody had asked me. I was like, yeah, no, these people left a joint at my dad's cabin, and I just happened to find it, and I thought, why not? And I smoked it on my own, and it was so fucked, man. The stars started moving and everything. Like I remember how I used to tell it to people, because it was just like this lie to get me out of it. And like now, big old bong hitter over here. So it's nice to have that come full circle. But that was a big lie that I sort of carried with me through my years. But if that's really normal,
did your brother care at all when you started smoking, or was he over it at that point?
I sort of like really slow rolled out the reveal that I was, and like it did sort of like I casually smoked pot once or twice in my like
forever.
Yeah. But like I didn't really reveal that I like to my family, and like I like my use is so variable that like it sort of depends. But like I didn't really reveal to my close family until much later, because they had such a specific vision. Perspective.
The podcast presents you as a weedsman bar.
Oh yeah. Well, I always do the show with a bit of a casual nature, because it's I don't want to try very hard, and so this way I get to relax. But I think Yeah, I think it's also depends on my life and what I'm doing. You know, when I'm working on like a play, I can't smoke as much because I have to go to rehearsal a lot, and I have to, and so like, you know, it just depends on what's happening.
And the mistakes. But that's funny. I was thinking about that exact lie for my story, the like pretending to have done drugs to get people off my back.
Right.
There was one time where I was at the doctor and they like asked me about smoking and drinking and like drugs, and I just kept saying no. And it truly felt like they were judging me. Like the doctor was like, "Okay, pal, you know,
and
you
they
never do drugs at all." And I was, it's like, okay.
Do you have friends?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, bitch? Just so mean.
But I gotta think of my new one now.
Tim,
So
do you have a big lie?
A lie?
I got one. It's a big one. It's not great. It's also happened in elementary school as a child, which is truly the best time to lie.
If you're gonna
lying
lie,
as a kid rocks, especially when you're with other kids and they believe you. But this was a lie that kind of spun out of control, but kind of a happy ending. Who knows? I went to in my elementary school. All our days were an extra period long. We had this thing called international languages, where they sat us down and they'd bring people from different countries to help teach you different languages. So there was like Swahili, Mandarin, Portuguese, Spanish, like different languages you can learn. But a lot of these people who would come teach these classes aren't like proper teachers who like went to teachers college. They're just someone who can speak the language and get the job. So for the older grades, like when you're in 5 or 6, a lot of it would just be tormenting these teachers and seeing what you can get away with. And a lot of them happen to be from the country they're teaching the language from and might not know language. So it wasn't a great scenario. It was a lot of kids pushing teachers to the limit until they smack a kid and get fired, essentially. But I remember there was this one a Mandarin teacher who the class didn't enjoy. And I remember like not wanting to be in class and actively taking a stand out of like just trying to like hang out in the hallway while she was teaching a class, being pretty disruptive. It wasn't good at all.
And then she went on like class strike. Yeah,
essentially. And but she sent me to the principal's office because I wasn't in class, and I accused her of being racist. To cover up my track of not being in there. But they said the principal went down and she did actually have the class segregated into by race, but as groups. And I wasn't privy to this, but she did.
So you just like sort of secretly knew that she was racist.
Yeah.
Like
I
your
guess
subconsciously.
Yeah. Oh, I got lucky.
If you
and then
guess that the teacher's racist, you'll be right like 80% of the time.
Yeah. But yeah, she went down. She lost her job. But I was like a little hero for that moment. But I was like, oh no, I really just didn't want to go to class for that day. But yeah,
that's amazing.
I didn't do my homework, so I exposed like the systemic problems in this whole system by accident.
This episode of this show is gonna like validate some fears that like right wing psychotic white people have. Who are, like,
for sure.
Afraid that people of color just randomly accuse white people of racism. Hoping, and it's like I will just stick it to the wall and see what.
This is the thing. Yeah, they do, and they're still right.
But
yeah.
the thing is, the unfortunate truth is, it's still the odds are you're still gonna hit, so you're fine.
So I did think of my lie, and it is pretty embarrassing and shameful, I would say.
Sure.
But it was also elementary school. I was in 3rd grade. I had a friend in 1st grade, and we sort of like came up with a fantasy game that like the world was full of aliens. But because he was younger than me, I can't remember how malicious this was at the time. I don't think I was like trying to hurt him, but it also gave me a lot of power over him because like I was kind of coming up with the rules of the game, the rules of the world. And I sort of convinced him that like aliens were real, that like this was this like imaginary thing that we were dealing with. And I remember his mom really didn't like me at the time. And so probably in my like 9-year-old head, I was like, well, I can get back at her by telling him that she's an alien. And only later realizing how like traumatic that may have been for him or how much of like a rift that might have created for the two of them. And like the age gap in terms of our maturity So I've always felt really bad about
and
this.
And just to be clear, you've never told this person.
Yeah, he's still like a hardcore conspiracy theorist. He's,
right.
No, but I think I did meet like one of his friends is back in Norberg, and we talked like years later. He's an improviser in Winnipeg, and he seemed to like know the story and be like, "You did something pretty fucked up to a friend when you were a kid." And I was like,
"That's your legacy here, Thomas."
Yeah.
That's your.
I was kind of a shitty. Honestly, like in elementary school, I sucked. I was a bit of a bully. I didn't have a lot of empathy.
That scans.
And then I think I overcorrected.
You think now you're a big fucking pussy with a big heart, hey?
Oh my God.
I feel like convincing someone there's an alien is like a step above. Like everyone gets if you have an older brother or something, you're adopted.
Right,
That takes it to a whole nother level of you're not from this planet.
Yeah, you're adopted by Earth. Yeah.
Well, I made him feel that like the lunches his mom packed for him might not be safe because they were tainted by the alien. It was like,
wow,
it was not ideal.
If you're out there and you've been suspecting your family of being from outer space, and you're a fan of the show,
you've got a Third Rock from the Sun situation.
Yeah,
all in.
Yeah, don't trust everything you hear from Thomas going forward. That's fair. That's fair. I am not going to share my incredibly embarrassing.
Can you share like
story?
a couple keywords? You don't have to give the specifics.
Yeah,
like just be really vague.
Puberty, like bragging, and transparent bodysuit.
Okay. That's so much better than a real story ever could have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has been very insightful. I feel like we really saw into our lives, our
hearts, our things like that. Tim, this episode's coming out in the middle of December. I think I mentioned it was December 11th it's coming out. Is there anything in your life that you need people to know about, people to hear about, people to see?
It's my mom's birthday tomorrow. That's big. I didn't know that. So maybe I'll listen to this and remember if I haven't gotten her gift already.
Sure. Yeah, Tim from the future. Hopefully you're punctual about listening to this and get your mom a present, man.
Yeah. Hurry up. Other than that, you can find me on socials at Tim Blair, spelt with L's instead of I's. It looks like it's Tim Blair in the handle, but I'm really there's
it's
L's.
Tim Blair. Wait, so L's instead of I's, like they're switched, or that there's no I's at all?
No I's, all L's.
So it's Blaller. Why?
Yeah. Well, because it just looks like if you look at the handle, it looks like it's Tim Blair, but some Australian journalist has the real Tim Blair. So I just want people to think I have it. I'm hard to tag.
Dude, one of the scariest movies I ever saw was the Blaller Witch Project.
My favorite Prime Minister of England is Tony Blair. Wow, that's incredible.
On socials, I think there'll be a teaser dropping for an animated show I'm working on.
Very nice.
Within the next few days. Stay tuned.
Also, I want to plug something of yours. I don't remember what it's called. You can plug it here. You make these every like week or something. There's a reel and a TikTok short that comes out, and they're very, very funny. I enjoy them quite a lot. I don't know what the account is called off the top of my head, so I'm doing a
Sidetrack show. Yeah,
Sidetrack
weekly
show.
sketches I make with my roommate. It's always a good time. Yeah.
It's good. I'll have links to all of Tim's stuff in the podcast description.
Tim, we're gonna sort of go over some of our stuff now, but if you could pull out your phone while we do, maybe open up the podcast app and give Oops All Segments 5 stars. If you're listening at home, you should do what Tim is doing right now. Give the show a nice 5-star rating. Tell your friends. Promote it. Follow us on social media at Oops All Segments. Click the link in bio and submit some segment.
Tim at least could claim that he's never listened to the show, so he shouldn't be liking it. But you can't do that. Because if you're hearing my voice right now, you've listened to the fucking show. So guess what, motherfucker? We need them stars. So open it up. open it up and do that. Also, if you are happening to be in the podcast app and wondering where else can we hear these magical voices, you can check out What We Do in the Basement. That's Thomas and I's Let's Play D&D show. Things are going wild over there. They're going fun. Jesse's going to do a holiday episode for us, probably coming out in the next little while if you're listening to this at this point in December. And that'll be a one-shot that you can just dive into and hear, so you don't have to listen to the campaign from all that. The main campaign. Thomas and I are also doing an improv show in Winnipeg, so we'll be alongside the rest of our friends in Club Soda, and you can catch us at The Basement, which is a comedy venue in Winnipeg on Portage Avenue. It's a speakeasy. It's a cool little place. You got to like open up a broom closet to get inside. It's wild. It's fun. Tickets are on sale now, so you can check that out. It's on December 30th. Is that everything in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, there's just...
I can see it now. Sorry. Thomas gasping for air. His mind shutting down slowly.
We've done this
as his lungs fill with milky cream.
Diminishing return.
Whose cream? Who's to say? But it is cream. And it is very milky.
You think the milky cream came from Jeanne Moos, the cow CNN correspondent herself?
Pretty good, man. Pretty fucking good.
No!
See you folks later. Thanks for listening.